Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good. It really is. Can you tell? Good evening, everyone. We're just waiting for more people to come in before we start the meeting. The meeting has not started officially. Hey, Cynthia, can you hear us?
Okay, I hear you. It's kind of low, but I do hear you. So say something else.
Huh.
Yeah, you're kind of low.
Okay, because the camera is not on.
No, it's not on for me.
Turn it on. Okay. Okay,
We good?
we're good, but Cynthia, how's our audio?
It's clear, very clear.
Okay, well, I think we just gotta elevate our voice, and then I'll try to get this to work. Oh.
Can you make our call? Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order. And we do have a form. Posted. So right now I'll take a entertain approval of the agenda and so take care of.
Okay, Cynthia, have a question. Last time Tanya used the microphone for the speakers. When Tanya just asked
She's
me,
working on it. She's working on it.
okay, fine, because it's kind of low now.
It's not on yet.
So you say you have a quorum. Who's your quorum?
Danny and Princess and Dawson.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Yeah.
That's not working, right? 1, 2, 3, no.
Is this switch on it? Is it channel?
Hello? Only one channel. Oh.
Uh-oh, there you go.
That's rated.
No, I already said we had to go on the problem, and I told her we had. Okay, so I entertain a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes. For a second. Second by Dulce, and all in favor, and please say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are in business. Okay, public comment, folks will have-
That's me.
All right, go ahead, Cordell.
Yeah. So good evening, Chair Gilmore, MAC members. My name is Cordell Hendler, and I'm a Richmond resident. So I do want to thank the MAC board and especially Beverly Scott Washington for acknowledging me for this award that I got recently, and I was honored. It was like for all my community advocacy. So I want to thank the MAC board for this honor. That's one. And then the second one is I have some gifts for you all as well. So number two is you are cordially invited to attend the senior winter ball hosted by the Commission on Aging on December the 16th from 6 to 10 at the Richmond Auditorium. And tickets are only $45 a person. And we will have a caterer who's going to bring out all the good food. So please do attend. It's going to be wonderful. And the third thing is I have a proposal to bring to the board. In the past, I was looking at I enjoy attending the meetings, but what I would like to see implemented is like have a digital clock, so whoever is presenting, it will show how much time will be allowed for them to speak. So that's something for the board to consider. So because I looked at other jurisdictions and they always have a digital clock that shows how much time each person is allowed to speak. So that being said, I'll try to come in person next month, maybe. That's it.
Okay, Cynthia has public comment.
I do see the other events. Okay, let's go with Latifa.
Latifa.
Good evening. I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Janine Shahid for inviting us, inviting Urban Tilt to be part of the health fair. Really enjoyed ourselves at the Food is Medicine Health Fair. Very well attended. And Ms. Janine is quite the promoter, so just wanted to say thank you. And we look forward to next year.
Thank you.
Hello.
There's somebody with a hand up.
Denise.
Oh, Denise.
Hi, yes, that's me. Hi everyone, my name is Sky Denise. I'm with AmeriCorps and Lifelong Medical Care. I just stopped in to announce that we are still recruiting community members over the age of 18 with an interest in healthcare. We have positions open in pediatric health, women's health, chronic care, geriatric care, dental services, and school-based adolescent health. This is a paid volunteer position that comes with a bi-weekly stipend and an education award upon completion of the program. The commitment is 6 months from January to August. I will leave the application link in the chat as well as my information if anyone is interested or may know of anyone who is interested. Thank you guys.
Okay, Cynthia Jordan, I would just like to thank everyone who donated to my senior event this year, and I appreciate your donations. I mean, I really appreciate your donations because it's not like I'm some large corporation hosting some event. I'm a single individual doing something for the seniors in my community, and your donations are so appreciated. Thank you. And if you want to donate, I have a link in the chat also.
Any other hands on this? Right.
Maria.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I just want to send out a special shout out and thank you to Miss Annie King Meredith for coming out, as well as Tanya, because the Contra Costa Youth Service Bureau was the physical sponsor for the Trick and Treat 23rd Street. So thank you, Annie, for always supporting, and thank you, Tanya. Thank you, guys.
We have 2 days to address. One is the continuation of the progress of the street sweeper. Again, in driving down the middle of the street because people are not moving their cars. And 2, what's the update on the diesel trucks driving through the city streets? Because I have video and cameras of 5 separate incidents back in last month. One of them resulted in car accident right here on the Market and Grove, where the diesel truck turned left off the Market, went to Grove, and actually hit a parked car. So where are we at with
I think it's a quick update on the street sweeper. And then hello, good evening, everyone. So in regards to the street sweeper, it is kind of an ongoing issue. And I did meet with county staff, and we have a plan to try to address the street sweeping. However, we don't have parking enforcement. The sheriff department doesn't have a parking enforcement fee to it, so they can't go out and ticket cars to like move. But we do have a plan in place to try to
alleviate some of the mess, right? So right now, the county is contracting with a company to leave below in the street that are like really have a lot of debris underneath the cars. So they came last month and they selected some of the worst streets in North Richmond, and they blew the trash to the middle of the street so that the street sweeper would clean up the trash more easily, right? Because the cars aren't moving. And so Kalu, who's the community services coordinator, he drives around North Richmond on a weekly basis, and we agreed that he's going to report to me any street that needs to be leaf blowed, and that way I can send a work order to the county staff and the contractor. And this is like not a, I don't know, they say that the county staff said that we can continue to do that until they tell us that maybe the money for funding is out, but as of now, that's how we're gonna move forward with this, because we just don't, the sheriff department doesn't have capacity to do the park enforcement. So we're gonna leave below, if you see a street that really needs it, let us know and we put in a work order. And then secondly, I think there's another issue around signs and also people not knowing when to their vehicles. So in order to address that, we are going to, the county is working on a schedule and a map that we're gonna share with residents in North Richmond. So we're gonna include it as part of the North Richmond newsletter. And we're also gonna like distribute it at community events and during our community walks that we do once a month to kind of do education around like when to move your car. And then coupled with that, we're also gonna go and see what streets may need like new signs because they're kind of worn down. So that's kind of our approach right now. It's not a perfect one, I understand, but I think what we're trying to do is not punitive, because what we heard from residents is that they don't want to be ticketed, right? They don't want to be ticketed for street sweeping. So we're trying to take an educational and kind of proactive approach with street sweeping. So, you know, it's not perfect, but we'll see how it works for the next couple of months and then pivot and adjust depending on how bad it is. I also understand that some streets, the debris has been collecting for so long that now it's kind of like dirt and like plants growing on the street. So it's not an easy solution, like just we blow it off, you know? So maybe me and Kalu agree that in a county that we look at what are the streets that need a little bit more attention, and they can collaborate with the North Richmond Tool Lending Library or with another cleanup crew. There is a community cleanup groups like SOS, Social Progress, and Nevada. They all clean up in North Richmond. So another solution maybe let's work with them to kind of address the streets that are really bad and that you just really go in and shovel or something kind of more effective and really the dirt. So that's the tentative plan for now, just to try to move the needle and make the street. Also, Richmond Public Services, they also been cleaning more trash, like litter, scattered trash in North Richmond. So that has been a little bit of improvement. So I think we're trying to work collaboratively within the agencies to try to troubleshoot this.
Well, my main concern is I've been complaining about it since 2018, and my concern is I was one of the people who advocated for street sweeping. We pay for that, it comes out of our taxes. We would be kind of complacent by hiring a company to come out here and leave, so where is that money for the company?
Right.
That comes through for the county, it comes through the watershed. It's a division within Public Works that is the watershed department, because that staff is interested in like the trash not going to the creek, into the waterway. So they have their own pot of funding to address trash not going into the waterways. So that's where that money is coming from.
But are we just being complacent when, like you said, I believe, I heard you say something about you're gonna be putting out flyers with another amount of leaflets.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, it seems like you're putting a band-aid over a problem versus suturing up the problem, where at the end of the day, If it was any other community, I would, it wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have been reports to update. No. Okay, so let me get back on board, because right, we weren't supposed to address that in the public comment. Oh, okay. So it's going to be in here, and I'll give them the agenda. Latifa, is there another public comment you want to make?
Are you saying we're not able to respond? Chair, did you say we're not able to respond?
No, not right now.
Not right now.
It'll probably
Okay.
back up again in the.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go to the law enforcement, the county here. And the sheriff department.
Yeah.
HP, I mean, yeah, how.
I think Lieutenant Rodriguez is maybe on his.
Probably. That is, it's gonna. It's someone from the sheriff department, husband.
I don't see Lieutenant.
Or are you prepared to do what we can?
He said he's gonna be on Zoom. I don't have any stats for you guys. I'm here for any questions or.
We're gonna move on. And I don't see anybody on here for the Richmond PD unless they're on Zoom. Doesn't appear to be, so we have no law enforcement. We're going to move to the action item, equitable and economic subcommittee update. And I'm going to turn that over to Tanya. And have this.
Thank you for. I'll do you on some, so the North Richmond Map have an equitable and development subcommittee. And they've been meeting monthly and they got extended to meet for another year, and they have 2 main goals that they are working on. And one of the goals is led by Don and Ms. Court with BNN. And that's in your agenda packet. It should be after the agenda. There's a document that you're hoping to get your recommendation and vote on. So goal number 2 basically is addressing something that the MAC has expressed for many years, and that is to invite businesses that have come to the MAC in the past to kind of get a status update of what are they doing, did they end up donating to the community, did they do it higher? And so the MAC agreed that it's a good idea to invite those businesses back to this meeting to get a status update. And so in order to, we're creating a system so that when they come, we have a game plan essentially of like what questions and how to hold them accountable essentially to whatever they said they would do in the community. And so here we have a proposal of how to do that, with today being a vote on like the criteria, because let's say we invite a business to the next meeting, right? They're gonna come and they might be like, I have $500 I want to donate, right, to the community. But how does that money, where does that money go? How does it get funneled? What are the project lists? Like all of that we need to figure out and put in place before we start inviting businesses. So this is the plan to try to put that in place so that when they come, we're ready to go and we have a game plan.
Short general timeline is for today to vote on the criteria list that I just described. We'd be basically accepting projects on some lists that are places where businesses can donate to. And then if we want to do a community engagement process, that next month we'll come back with a survey that was on community find priorities for different places they can donate, how they would like rank the project list. And then in either January or February, depending on how long we have that survey out, we can come back with the result of that survey. And have the whole project list ranked in order. And then in February or March, you can start inviting businesses to present your schematic. So for today, on the next page, we have the eligibility requirements and criteria. So that's what we will on. So there's 4 criteria that we came up with, and we're includes further suggestions. The first is that to be on the project list to receive donations, you'd be a nonprofit 501c3. The second criteria is that you serve the public, specifically the nutrition public, offer free or low cost programming, resources, and services. The third is that you serve the North Richmond community specifically. And the fourth is that you have a North Richmond specific project or program in your pipeline that requires additional money to start, operate, or complete.
Before we go,
So for the 501c and a nonprofit for North Richmond, serving North Richmond, if they don't have their 501c3, can fiscal agency or AD, can they qualify?
yeah, it's up to us. I mean, if they're working in, if you want to make an amendment to that, they are doing the work of C3s in the community, and that they have a physical sponsor that is a local organization that they can still be.
So the local has to be a North Richmond as well. Just making sure we're clear. Yeah, that's one.
It's up to you.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, we can make it whatever we want. So
I would suggest that, I know there are probably a couple out there that graduates that are in the community that are in the process of getting their 501c, or they don't have it. But I would keep the stipulation for the agency being in the sponsoring agency being in North Richmond and being in North Richmond.
okay, let's see if there's any comments from the screen. So it's something in the chat. I can't.
Can you read it?
We couldn't hear. It was really very muffled. We could not hear that.
Basically, what the director said was that she would want the option for a local organization that's working in the community to be able to apply if they had the physical sponsor that had that designation. And we're considering the whole package. So any other comments from
I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I think this is great, to start English, all of those businesses. I want to ask if there were any, agreements in the past, I would follow with those specific agreements that some businesses made out in the past. Yeah, this is great.
My only other comment is that, not just the fiscal sponsor, but that residents with a broader community vision be also included in that pool. So that it's not just the nonprofit complex deciding for the community, but there could be also a resident that might be interested in spearheading projects with these funds that have a huge community vision. That sits outside of the frame of what's currently being done.
But we're going to ask if they can the business qualify for the tax rate if they donate to an individual and not a nonprofit?
Through the fiscal sponsor, so the individual would have to be fiscally sponsored. So it could be an individual who asks permission through a fiscal sponsorship.
Well, mine is just a comment right now, so all of these suggestions that we are, speaking now, will this be part of the, taking consideration for the draft? I know this is a draft, so this isn't written in stone, so is there any changes or any other things that need to be added to this as far as being very clear of what these individuals will be bringing to the table? I know this is equitable and economic development subcommittee, but are there particular things that we are looking to have brought to the forefront?
Yeah, so the other thing that we also consider is its application for projects to be added to the list, which is right below the criteria. So these are some questions that we would ask when a project wants to be added to the list. We would ask them these questions and kind of make a one pager that describes what the project is, so they answer all these questions. So if there's any other question what you want to add to there, then let me go.
No, it's a criteria, they can put on, yeah.
So are you looking for a recommendation?
Yeah, we have to take on action, so I entertain a motion if you're ready for, what's here, and then have the language on thinking your languages, any group, organization, or individual that doesn't have their 501c3 status, it could be sponsored by the local 501c3. Ready for the motion.
I move that we accept the draft and submitted with the recommendation.
Is there a second?
Okay.
All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, carries. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna move to presentation. We have basic transit, line bus service, net, and update. Good evening, good morning, staff and members of the public. My name is Ryan Miles, I'm a representative of this lead at the plan. We're here to present Realign, which is basically our effort to adapt to the post-pandemic So I'll start off on this high level information, and Chris will come behind me and dive into service for change. So as background, basic transit is involved in this, but in the state of California, we provide lifeline service to essential workers, students, low income individuals, seniors, commuters, we operate bus service on the western side of the east bank from West Richmond, San Pablo, Escalante, all the way down to Fremont. 43% of our riders are transit dependent, meaning that they don't have access to a vehicle. So that means that they ride the service to access work, school, medical appointments, grocery stores, and just general day-to-day functions. So
Is it
The audio is.
yeah, this is
so can you not hear me on the Zoom?
maybe it's too loud.
Can folks on Zoom hear me?
Is it better?
Can you hear?
Cookie got
Maybe write in the chat.
She got it unmute. Cookie got it unmute. She unmuted.
But I don't think anybody can hear.
Yeah,
Anybody
no,
can hear what you say, I can hear.
I can hear.
We can hear him a little better.
So I forgot that. So that's the demographic info, and then the next slide. So this is a map of our current network as it exists today. The lines in red are the most frequent at 20 minutes or better. The lines in blue are every 30 minutes or better. And the lines in gray, which it might be hard to decipher, are our translate service, the service in San Francisco, early bird service, which is the service that we provide on behalf of BART to do their early repair and maintenance, and our overnight L service. So, between the hours of, let's say, 11 p.m. 4 a.m. So we're now in phase 3 of our Real Life initiative. In August, we showed the board and the public all of the work that we did in phase 2, the previous phase, to understand what our riders value in the future network. So what's important to them, how they use the system, all that sort of stuff. Today we're sharing the draft service scenarios that developed from the input from our previous phase, and we expect to take all of the information that we received from the public and take that and roll it into sort of a final design that'll package up all the comments. And we plan to have refined the scenario and have a final plan in mid-April with expected implementation by August 2024. And so with that, I will turn it over to Ms. kind of do a deeper dive.
Thanks, Ryan. Next slide, please. One more slide, please. So under this plan, we have several different scenarios. At the top of the slide, it says balanced coverage scenario and frequent scenario. And both of those scenarios are, they aim to be cost neutral and is what we'll primarily focus on today. But we also have a unconstrained vision scenario, which is reimagining what the network could look like in ways, and that could be used as a future plan to advocate for transit funding. Next slide. So now I'm going to dive into the specific route proposals, and again, we really want to hear your feedback on these proposals. Next slide. So yeah, again, these slides are in the package because I know it's kind of small on the screen, but this slide is showing lines 72 and 76. Line 72, 72M, and 72R, those run alongside Public Avenue. They start downtown Oakland and go all the way to the city of San Pablo. One of the key things we heard is that having 3 separate lines on this border can be confusing. So in response, we are proposing to have 2 routes, the 72 and 72N. And the resources currently used for the 72R will be invested in the remaining 2 lines and provide 15-minute service with a combined 7.5-minute frequency. In addition, line 72 is proposed to end at Contra Costa College. This portion was covered instead of going to Hilltop. So, the 72 goes through the Fairmead Hilltop neighborhoods, and instead that is going to be covered by the 76. So I know the 76 runs in North Richmond. If you're going on the 76, you'll be able to go all the way up to Hilltop under this proposal. Also, the 76 will run every 30 minutes, and Cutting Boulevard, that's gonna have a bus service coming every 15 minutes under the fiscal year. And so we can definitely get into question. I know it's a lot of information. And next slide, please.
Did you say 76 coming in 15?
Along Cutting Boulevard.
That's all.
And the one that we have coming through here in North Richmond is what?
76.
This is 76. I can't remember because it was a part that we put in the initiative back in 97. So, you know.
Take a second.
It's like, it just expanding out some other routes. Line 70 will be changed in several ways. So it's going to run every 30 minutes instead of every 6 weeks. It will be rerouted to go straight up Harbor Way, Pennsylvania Avenue Rail to provide reliable service. So what I mean by that is the dotted blue light blue line is line 70 right now, but the solid light blue line is gonna be straight down. And so that's another change. Line 70. And then finally, it's all line 70 is going to be extended down Cutting Boulevard to provide, so the bus comes every 15 minutes. Line 71 will run hourly as coverage service in the balance scenario and every 30 minutes in the frequency scenario. Next slide. Line 74, in the balanced coverage scenario, line 74 will maintain its current routing to El Sobrante 7 days a week, every 30 minutes. In the frequency scenarios, we have 2 scenarios that we're looking at, 2 different proposals. In the frequency scenario, it will only go as far as Contra Costa and Contra Costa College, excuse me, and allow for resources to improve line 71 frequency. So again, these are a broad overview of some of the routes that run in and around Richmond, and there's more details on our website. Of course, we're happy to discuss and answer your question. Hear your thoughts.
So we're gonna take questions from public hearing.
So,
Yes.
So you just heard a high level overview of what we're proposing in the initiative. As the North Richmond MAC and staff and what have you, what we're hoping that we can do is review the proposals in depth. I'm happy to take questions as needed here, but getting into a lot of different issues, so we're happy to take more input offline as you have things to actually be in depth. But we're also asking you to share it out to networks, because obviously you might be transmitted, but you have larger networks that may touch a lot of people that do actually use it, beyond just your household. So we want to make sure that we get the broadest people as possible, because obviously it's not useful or wants to expand it. And so did want to highlight some upcoming opportunities to further engage. So we have a virtual community workshop on December 7th from 6 to 7:30. You can definitely learn more about that and how to engage on that. So our website is community.org/realign, REALIGN. We also have a series of open houses, pop-ups near bus stops. And we're also going to be at the West Contra Costa Unified School District on November 15th, and then we're going to be at the Richmond City Council November 28th. We also have roughly 20 libraries that we're going to have a large book there of all the different routes. So this is to kind of solve for the issue of people that may not have internet access. And it's going to be accompanied by the feedback form that you can put in and retrieve periodically. And those will be provided in English, Spanish, and Chinese. It's literally, it's pretty big. And so I will also leave Tanya and Matt some handouts, take one so that you can have that on hand and share it as you. So thank you for hosting us and happy to answer.
Let's take it first. Okay. So right now, anyone that's on the Zoom that has their hand raised, we're acknowledging for question and answers, and also open for questions. Anyone have? I don't see any in the Zoom, any local folks here. No. Okay, so to the council.
Thank you for the brief realignment for this plan, the update, very brief. I attended San Pablo, I attended San Pablo, and it was much thorough than what you all just presented right now, to say that. But I have a couple questions about this service and its network plan. Have you all taken in consideration for having not only, we have the seating for the bus stops, but for the overhangs, for like when it's raining, is that in the plan? You know, not just the route and, you know, and changing from an hour to 30 minutes. Are you looking at certain areas in order to put those type of shelters in place to weather, you know, when the weather gets rough? So individuals just won't be standing out, you know. I know that was something we spoke about over 20 years ago, and I don't know if you're revisiting the plan of what has been taking place at this time and what needs to be added, because the routes are still very active. So how did you all come up with all of this? Did you go back and revisit, or what did you do in order to, you know, come up with this information?
Yeah, it's a good question for things like transit, seating, shelters. That's a separate initiative from this plan, but we are working on developing guidelines for where we place shelters or benches. We currently, sorry, let me back up a little bit. We currently don't have a bench program, but we are trying to develop a contract so we can get transit, we can buy and install transit shelters. So we're in the middle of that process right now.
So, sorry. I just wanted to add, so we actually folded this into our own maintenance program because we had a contract with an entity that we didn't feel like we were doing a good job. So we folded it into our own operations so that we can all in control. And we're going to be working with the city's accountants to make sure that, you know, our amenities are boxed up like that.
Right. So the just to clarify, because like it was, I didn't really understand anything that y'all just said in terms of what's changing. But to clarify, the main thing that changed was that the 72 bars being discontinued. Okay, and then you have two scenarios, and one of them is more so based on the frequency of the buses that are coming. So instead of like us in like Richmond getting a bus every hour, we'd be probably getting a bus every 30 minutes. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Oh, Cynthia would like to say something. I don't know how good my audio is, but I had put this in the chat. I think there needs to be bus stops on the Richmond Parkway to get to the transit centers. For instance, Point Richmond and Hercules, and because you have to go through, like I say, 4 or 5 different cities just to get from North Richmond to a transit center. And take that into consideration, please. I mean, it would be nice to have a straight shot from North Richmond on the Parkway up to the Hilltop Transit Center or either to Hercules Transit Center.
Question, if it's reducing the amount of time, so the average would be 30 minutes to North Richmond, is there a change in the quantity of buses? Or what does it mean we're increasing the amount of buses that are available?
Yeah, I think we're not, we currently don't have money to like buy more buses, or we would love to hire more operators, but that, you know, requires a lot of children. That's a challenge in itself. So rather we're seeing this as a cost neutral plan. So instead, shifting resources, for example, towards North Richmond, we're shifting resources around. Does that make sense? So there won't be an increase in the number of buses necessarily, but we're trying to meet people's current travel patterns. We're trying to, you know, we speak to all the outreach we did to figure out, well, how are people traveling now after some of the earlier years of COVID? Is it different? And I think we found that there are changes. A lot of that outreach informed the proposals that were. Yeah.
So I think one thing that can sort of speak to both of your questions is we have two different scenarios that are intended for purposes. So one would increase the frequency of the buses along sort of a more straightforward route. The other would try and maximize the geographic space that it covers, meaning you walk less potentially to a bus stop. But that means that because you're driving around more, it's not coming as frequently because we have limited resources. You may have heard that the public transit industry is sort of in trouble right now, and so we're trying to make sure that we're fiscally responsible, but also providing good product. So.
I saw that phase 3 of public engagement goes from November 1st to December 13th. Would you be able to extend to December 15th in North Richmond, we have a holiday light display where we invite about 200 people. It would be great to have AC Transit and representatives doing outreach to get public engagement at that event. And then there's also the celebration of learning at Birdie, which would be great to include you all in that as well, to make sure that folks who live around. That's November 29th. I'm looking at Tanya to confirm Birdie celebration of learning. It's at the end of the month.
What's the name over them?
Yeah, the celebration of learning at Birdie. That's the local elementary school and now middle school. And then there's the holiday light display in North Richmond, December 14th and 15th.
And the address is 2000 Garavita.
That's for the holiday party?
That is Birdie School.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was it again?
2000 Garavita.
And it's Luz is right, it's November 29th from 3 to 6 p.m.
And if you want information on the light display, talk to
So what I would say about extending the timeline, that's something that we have to bring back to the board. The board makes that decision, so we can definitely pick that back up, but.
Yeah.
Except for beyond my range.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Thank you for your presentation. Okay, we're gonna move into draft general plan. Someone here or someone? Yeah. They're good. Oh, thank you. Okay. Turn your mic on.
Hello. I was here just to observe this item. I wasn't here to present for it, so I thought it's other staff would be here. So I apologize. I'm not equipped to present on this item, unfortunately.
Next meeting.
Yeah, I'll follow.
And meanwhile, it's on the website that these plans are, we have.
They're gonna create a presentation, but I'll just move it to December.
Okay. And then they'll have some material in advance. Okay. All right, thank you. We're gonna move to number 7 in City of Richmond Community Service Department. These are agenda items here are scheduled for 5 minutes.
City of Richmond is Jessica. I seen her name on there. She always forget it's her.
Yeah, I can go ahead and just give a brief update. Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm with the North Richmond Mobile Tool Library, for those of you who don't know me. And I don't have that much to report. We had a good time at Janine's Food as Medicine event that was a couple weeks ago. And also my coworker, Andy, has left. So we are hiring. I'll go ahead and put my phone number in the chat if anybody has any questions or has any interest. Does anybody in the audience have any questions about the North Richmond Mobile Tool Library?
This is Cynthia. You had sent out emails saying that your hours were being limited and you would have to reserve in advance or something like that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So it's kind of a involved job to hitch up the trailer to the truck and to drive it into North Richmond. It's a 2-person job, really. And so since Andy has left, that just leaves me. And as a workaround to driving the whole trailer full of every single tool that we owned, because my manager and because of like legal reasons, they don't want one person to do that. What we're doing in the month of November is if you want a tool, you need to go ahead and let us know before the Saturday that we operate what tool you want. And then when I show up on the 1st and the 3rd Saturdays of each month, I have the tools with me and I'm just driving a truck, not a truck pulling a trailer. So that's what those emails are about, Cynthia. Just let us know ahead of time the tool that you want, and then that way we load it up and bring it. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay.
Jessica, is your information public? Like, does it go out with the newsletter?
I heard half of that. I heard the word newsletter, but I missed the first part. Can you repeat that?
Is your information public? Like, does it go out with the newsletter? Like, do folks know to contact you to let you know what tool they need before you come out here?
Yeah, so we have published this information in the weekly newsletter. So it's in there as of the beginning of November, it's in there, and it includes our email. It includes the 3 ways that you can reserve a tool: by calling us, by emailing us, or by going into the My Turn database and doing the reservation yourself. So we've publicized the information as much as we're able to.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to Shield Reed Neighborhood Council. Any updates from Shield Reed Neighborhood Council? All right, we're gonna move on to the Housing Authority. Oh, you can make that?
Yeah,
Okay.
when I can, there. Hey everyone, this is Hannah. I'm gonna do a housing authority announcement today. For the previous months, Tony has announced that there are 4 developers that were chosen to redevelop a portion of the Los Altos site. So that's the HDC, Richmond Community Foundation, Richmond Land, and Richmond Neighborhood Housing Services. And on December 2nd, from 3:30 to 5:30, we'll be doing a community meeting where all 4 developers will present their proposals and what type of housing and services that were included in their proposals. So it'll be a chance to meet the 4 developers, see if you're eligible for the housing, get on the interest list, and then there'll also be some more information in the housing authority. And that's going to be here, 515 Silver Avenue on December 2nd, 3:30 to 5:30. And I have some flyers here that we can leave. And then also some general information flyers as well.
Real quick, and the last time, Tony was here. Thank you. The last time Tony was here, he mentioned about trimming trees that is on the private property, that is connected with the housing authority. So I need to contact him.
Yeah.
To have to take care of trees. Okay. All right. Thank you.
He's been on vacation last couple of weeks. So I'll put it back tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Will there be a similar process for the market rate site?
The question was, will there be a similar process for the market rate sites? Yes, we're gonna do a separate community meeting once all the details that are finalized. Hopefully we can get them next year. So I'm hoping that by the date of that, we can promote this for next.
Oh, Hannah, don't you have some upcoming workshops you would like to announce or either put in the chat?
What about the agenda for the flyer?
I'm trying to see if I can get access to the chat. I'm not logging on Zoom right now. Just can you put the housing authority website in the chat?
Oh, just the website?
Yeah, the flyer will be uploaded on the website I think tomorrow. It's not actually up right now. I just submitted it today to be uploaded. But if people check the website and subscribe to the newsletter on the website, they'll receive a few different reminders in their email.
Hannah, go ahead.
So, Hannah, this meeting on December 2nd, did you say that, is that like a community meeting? Is that with like neighborhood housing and some of the other people that are helping with financing? I couldn't really hear what it was about.
Yeah, there will be a presentation from all 4 of the developers. They'll present the homes that they'll be building and also any services, loan products, counseling services, anything like that will be associated with their buildings.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't see any more hands, so Tanya, you're up.
So I have quick updates. One is that we're having our annual Verde School fundraiser. And this year we're gonna do an open house at our office. So the date for that is Thursday, December 7th at 5:30 p.m. So we'll be opening up the office for a little party, holiday party, and also just collecting funds for Thursday, 5:30 p.m. And then I'll send a shortly on ways you can donate. So it'd be great if you can share it with, spread the word, that we're fundraising. I'm not sure what we are gonna do this year. Haven't talked to the new principal, but it'll be something good. This year will be in person for the first time in a couple of years.
That's gonna be like food and stuff there?
Yeah, we have like finger food and drinks, and I think it ends up being a great opportunity because you have a lot of community leaders, county leaders kind of in the same room. So there's a lot of rich conversation happening. So I think that's kind of our favorite part. Yeah, and then the second piece is that I know at one point we did this initiative called Light Up North Richmond, and we did a walk, and thank you to Latifa and Rafa and others too. We did a drive at night, and we found a whole bunch of places, including hotspots where there's a lot of illegal dumping happening that were really dark, and including Fred Jackson Way, like the county side was darker than the city side, and like little things like that. And the county did address some of them, like they increased the wattage on Fred Jackson Way and fixed some of the lights, and they increased the wattage in these hotspot areas. And so I just want to let everyone know that I can continue to submit work orders to increase wattage of lights or fix the lights. So if you remember driving on Richmond, especially right now when the lights are, it gets darker somewhere, if you see a light post and it's not working, or you think it's brighter, you can always just take a picture, let me know the direction, like the cross street or the closest house to the pool. You can send it to me through email or text, and I can submit that work order and follow up with you to make sure that they fix it.
And Tanya, if I can add to that, we're identifying the poles. It is a number on the pole, low enough for you to see. Copy that number so they know exactly what pole it is that needs lighting.
Thank you, that's really helpful. So for those who didn't hear, Annie said that every pole has a number. So you can take down the number that's in the pole, the county people know exactly which one to pick.
The CDC, report a little bit on this grocery store. We were looking forward to appropriations from American University, and as you know, the budget's being held up. So those funds are being held up. So as soon as we get them, we think we'll be able to break ground to finish off what we need to do that. If it doesn't, then we'll retool and figure out the best way to move forward. But it's been on hold for a long time until funding came in, but we're still working, getting closer. Legacy Court is 45 new development. If you look on Fred Jackson Way, there's 3 big lots, and there's 1,300 lots. But we've been working on that project for a long time. If you remember, we removed a lot of gas tanks, and we had well monitoring for about 3 years to make sure the water was coming with the right designation. And so now we're close to getting funded. We just barely missed the tax credit round to get funding. There was a project in Berkeley that outscored us sometimes kind of way. And then, but we're gonna next quarter, first quarter of the year, we'll be applying again. We look like we got a really good shot at it. So let's go with that. Any questions?
Hey Don, I'm here if you can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead. You can do your report now.
I didn't hear you guys say CHDC. My apologies. I'm Kalu Dennis. I'm the Community Services Coordinator for CHDC. just a report on the Community Resource Center too. It continues to have great numbers of residents coming to visit the Resource Center. Over 100 residents last month. Continue to host meetings. SOS Workforce Clinic. The North Richmond Green Meeting Committee is there also, and the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity continues to meet there every month. Also, we had a successful another job subsidized hiring event with SOS, Way to Love, and also Richmond Works. So we continue to build those relationships, and hopefully we'll have a lot more stuff coming up in the future with Richmond Works. We're working on a couple of things, so hopefully those things fall through. And real quick, Corinne Saint Senior and Family Community Center had a great event was last week on October 27th, had the Food as Medicine Health Fair. Janine, if you want to comment on it, you and your group did a great job organizing that and putting it together. If you want to comment on it real fast.
I just want to thank all the community partners that participated, all of the volunteers. We had over 25 volunteers who were seniors. We also had SLS, who was the muscle of the entire event. We had over 250 people here. It was, you could have seen the K through 8th graders challenge the fire and sheriff's department in a watermelon eating contest. It was hilarious. Everyone had a good time. We had Zumba, we had line dancing. It was just a wonderful event, and I'd like to thank everyone who participated and helped put this event on. Urban Tilt was the main community partner. I'd like to thank Latifah and Marco for their help, and we had a whole committee. We had African American Women for Social Justice. I'm forgetting names, sorry. John Joy's office, Tanya, Constant Crossing Health Plan. The outcome of the entire event is that the community appreciated having the health resources in their neighborhood. So it was just really very, very well attended. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody, but next year it's an annual event. And if you'd like to participate, please contact Tiva or myself. But it was wonderful. And thank you again, Urban Soap, for your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you, Janine. And I'll continue with mitigation. I got the final numbers finally from Public Services. The 23 dumpsters, we talked about that before, 2 metal bins, over 700 residents participated in the event, but we finally got the final number of tons of trash that we collected that day, and it was 67.3 tons of trash that we collected that day for the Willie Spears event. So very proud of that. We did a great job just getting the numbers, getting the information out to the residents of North Richmond, and people showed up, so we need to continue that trait for the next Willie Spears event. Our monthly patrols are down the last 2 months, but I see the numbers rising for Republic Services. They're collecting over 600 illegal dumps a month. So their numbers are rising. My numbers are going a little bit lower. So it just kind of makes me think how well we are, really attacking the piece of mitigation and keeping the streets clean. Because we still have a lot of illegal dumping out there. So we're going to continue to address those issues and try to come up with ways to fix those things that maybe we're not seeing. Also, in our task force walks, we want to start inviting the community out to come aboard and walk with us as we're doing our task force walks. Our next one is this Thursday. We're walking Sanford and Dubose. I know Janine invited the PTA at Verde. A couple of people are going to join us this week, and plus we're going to do a separate walk with the PTA from Verde and invite, the Sheriff's Department, code enforcement, and other people to walk with us to see what their issues are that they have, especially with their kids walking to school and things of that nature. And that's actually one more thing. About to start, I'm starting my baseball this spring, or coming up next year in January. And we're supporting 4 teams this year, 3 baseball teams and 1 basketball team. Previously, we had last year we had 3 teams that we supported. So we're going to sponsor 4 teams this year. So that's all mitigation has.
Thank you.
Question.
Do we have one? Okay, Cynthia.
Okay, when you start the baseball and use the Lucky A's baseball field, can you see that gate is unlocked so people can park on the inside and not on the street? Because it's a shame to keep that gate locked and people cannot park in the parking lot at the ball field.
Absolutely. I will get with Aaron because they all have keys at Shields Reed. Aaron at Shields Reed. They all have keys to the Lucky A's Park. I will make sure that happens.
I had a question. Can I ask a couple questions? Okay, so Chair Gilmore, I didn't quite hear. So you said Legacy Court. I wanted to know what that is, and I heard something about the grocery store, and I think you said that the funding was delayed. So I just wanted to get clarity on those two. And then Kalu, if you could include me on the list. We're just like 5 blocks away, but we would like to know about like the job fairs and everything, so that we can offer that resource to community members also. Thanks.
Okay. Or it's grocery store. It's been in the works for me ever since we were going to develop community heritage. I'm sorry, Heritage Point. It was supposed to go out during that process. Things changed, money didn't come in as it was supposed to, so we did one. We put some money to reserve, get the permits, everything ready until for funding. So we've been in fundraising since. It'll be a community process. We have community processes going on. The potential for a locally ran could be a co-op, but we're still having communications. Once we find the actual funds and we know we have committed, then we'll ramp that back up. So those are 2 part. Well, Legacy Court's been going on for a long time. Like I said, there was a lot of mitigation done to leave the toxic sites that we had to address, through the state TSC program. And so we got it all clean. It's just taken a long time to be able to have the resources to be competitive in the funding round. So we seem like we're competitive now based on if we get the appropriation. If we don't, then we'll see what else happens. We have appropriations for both legacy and appropriations for the grocery store. One is the state, which is for legacy, and the other one is federal. So, all right, we're gonna move on to. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, thank you, Chair. I need for Janine, she needs to make one comment. And this is very important with God because it's pertaining to the center.
So sorry. I just wanted to say that I wanted to thank one of our seniors who actually created this, if you can see it. It is the packaging for the food as medicine health fair, and there's popcorn in it. And it was just a surprise that came my way. And I just wanted to definitely thank this senior for putting this together. It has all of the agencies that participated on the back, and she put Papa on bottom. So it was just really good. Thank you, Ms. Eddie. Didn't want to forget the senior. It was a surprise. So thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you. And real quickly, just for the mitigation. One of the things that was just brought up earlier in our public comments about the street sweeping, and not only the street sweeping, but who will be maintaining it and how to actually band-aid to have these leaves and the curbs swept. One of the things that has been going on for many years, and should be funded through the mitigation,
And I want to address our community person that I'm gonna check into what happened to the funding for the mitigation funds to come back into the community to take care of what is needed as far as street sweeping, anything that we need. This is why the money is here and the money has come back. And for things to be lighted and to have to look at another way to clean the streets is really unacceptable. And for me to be sitting here with another hat of being one of the commissioners to hear that, it is really appalling to hear that. So I need to check in anytime with whomever so we can ratify and take care of this. Okay?
Yeah, my concern was.
Thank you.
We're basically putting a Band-Aid on the situation that we've all. I mean, complained about ever since 2018 before the pandemic, and my thing is, you don't take money from something else to fix something where you already have the money for it. All you gotta do is notify the people. And as far as the signage out here, I personally have driven around all of North Richmond. I can count about 10 signs that needs to be replaced. All the signs that's up there. It's like you're allowing people to continue to be lazy, and it only happens in this community. I've stayed in Berkeley, I've stayed in San Pedro, I've stayed in Fulton. Street sweepers do not drive around cars. People move their cars. And I'm not advocating that we give people tickets. Send out the warning letter. It doesn't mean, because I didn't even volunteer that I can personally go out and hand out leaflets to everybody and let them know about street sweeping. There's a way it can be fixed versus just putting a Band-Aid on something and basically just letting community members do whatever they want to do, because that's just irritating to me, for me to see a street sweeper just driving down the middle of the street, not doing anything, and we paying for that out of our taxes. And for the suggestion of hiring someone else to come out here with leaf blowers, to me, that's, I don't mean to be offended or whatever, but that's just idiotic. That's just idiotic. When all thing people gotta do is move their car simply across the street and then come back and put their cars back. This doesn't make sense. Because you're taking money from another person's budget, which they could be using that money. I mean, yeah, it's just idiotic. It's just past, makes so no sense.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So we're going to twice together. Okay.
I agree with the speaker that just spoke. I agree with the speaker that just spoke. There's too many things that's not right in North Richmond, and we keep taking our problems to the powers that be, but nothing is being addressed. We need to have a town hall meeting and call those people to the table.
I wholeheartedly agree with Miss Annie and the speaker and Miss Cynthia. And yeah, I've been asking about the street sweeping since I purchased here in 2017. And then also the money being spent in the community, I think that's vital. And one of the other things they were mentioning about lights, but there are some places where there are no poles and there need to be poles. And there are some places where there are new poles and they're but the lights are not on. So yeah, definitely these are things that need to be addressed without the whole word salad type thing going on. Thank you.
So, okay, you want to speak before I speak, or let me squash it?
All right, I'll speak first, then you'll squash.
Okay.
I think it'll be good, Tanya, to invite Justin to give an overview of the mitigation. And I know myself and Latifa met with Justin, who did this guide for the mitigation, and he was explaining how much that money comes to North Richmond, what it's used for and the purpose. And it seems to be that it's always like, well, here's how we use the funding. I think there needs to be a different process for that to incorporate ideas that we keep hearing over and over again in the community. And so that's something that we should do moving forward. But Justin will have, I think, to invite him here would be much better to hear more about not just tapping into other sources of funding, but the reason we have the mitigation funding is to clean up North Richmond and to support with the street sweeping versus how it's currently, what it currently is, which is the status quo. We fund these things, we funded them over decades. That's what we're going to continue to do, and that's not fair.
when we see that the issues are not.
Okay, just like I said, we're ready to squash it. This was created way back in 95, when we had Joe Barrett to work with Public Works. From Public Works, they would go out, and even with Mrs. Spears, we had individuals that would actually go out and take care and work with different entities to make sure these things were happening. This is one of the things how the mitigation responsibilities were formed. One of the main things were to have the street sweepers to come through. You just don't blow leaves. You have a chemical also that takes care of diseases in the street and the whole bit. It has to be an agency to actually come through to do the street sweeping. It is not mandated just for an individual to come out and do it manually. It is done a certain way. It has been allocated in the mitigation to have money for street sweeping and code enforcement. We have to go back and bring that back to the table to make sure these things are happening. We have been lax over the last few years, and one of the things people keep hollering about it is COVID. It's not only COVID. People start getting lazy and being paid. They gotta stop being paid and do their job. So I'm squashed it. They can see me about it, and I'm fine to have this conversation with them. I'm done.
Thank you. I think we do have to go back on this a little bit, because I know that through Public Works, they have funding, the sheriff department has funding. Somebody needs to actually enforce what's there. And so I'm talking about citations. I mean, and they get told if they had. So it's like you have to do the deterrent thing to stop the behavior. So for long, people will know that nothing's going to happen if they move. And if that continues to be the case, then we'll still have what we have. But I commend on Tanya for putting together a temporary bridge to where we need to get to. It sets more sight on the matter that we've been dealing with for a long time. Sometimes we would have the street sweepers, and then we didn't have nobody would be flattened, and we didn't have a sign. So we have to look at all this comprehensively so that we can take it. So that's what we advocated from the MAC, and then that's what we're advocating for the mitigation. Thank you. All right, Richmond.
Just to clarify, I'm not advocating for kids. So Richmond Land, we have the holiday light display on December 15th and 16th, which I'll give more information about. And that'll be held at Piramida Street. And then we will have Santa and pictures, but more information to come as we're still planning that. But the whole community is invited. We'll have food, photos, most likely tables with community partners, and my colleague Kendall Johnson will share that information with everyone through different elements.
Cooperation machine. I don't have much of an update other than what I usually say. Cooperation Richmond is a cooperative incubator here in Richmond. So basically, folks develop and launch cooperative enterprises. And all that means is that any business, right, can be a cooperative, which is more than one owner. So you create more ownership pathways for folks in the community. And better working environments, right? Because you will all be in ownership, and then also creating community controlled assets. So we have a stake into our community, so that we can push down gentrification, right? Talent is that the community. So cooperative enterprises, I'm a co-op developer, not just businesses, but co-op houses too, right? And so we are trying to work with more community partners to actually incubate these businesses.
that we need in our community. So whether that's solar or, construction or anything, childcare, anything like that. So please, bring forward those business ideas so we can help folks make those realities. One of the main things that we offer as an incubator is technical assistance to help you get guidance on how to create like a business plan and so on and so forth, as well as non-extracted resources to loans. So instead of going through the traditional route of getting like a loan from the bank, through our loan funds, and they're very low interest and very non-extracted. There we go. Support your local co-op. Space Road 8 is out here, black waiting room, and they have tables, chairs, candies, and they have already supported some of the market space.
Richard?
Oh, hey, Princess, I wanted to ask you, so are you currently accepting applicants? I think the last time I visited the website, you weren't accepting applicants.
Yeah, so if you ran into that issue on our website, it was because we had shut down the intake form so that we can develop the process a little bit more. So folks actually submitted these intake forms that we have a process for them to navigate. So it should be up down on the website so that intake form. And if it ain't, please let me know.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'm really excited about that whole concept, and I love supporting small businesses and the cooperative model. With Urban Tilth, so I think I mentioned last time that we've started the construction process of putting in the underground utilities. We have the building pads, and so this month we should be starting with the foundations for the first 3 buildings that will be on the farm. And that's my update. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is the end of our agenda. And I want to thank everybody for coming and being a part. We are now